Fstoppers.com has teamed up with Elia Licardi to create Photographing the World 3, the ultimate photography tutorial on all things landscape and cityscape photography. You're watching the behind-the-scenes series on the creation of this full tutorial, and if you'd like to learn more about the full product, head over to fstoppers.com/store. So we are back with another behind-the-scenes series. We're going to be traveling around the world with Elia Licardi. We fly out tomorrow, and the studio is an absolute wreck, as it always is. And the reason it's so crazy in here is because we got a ton of gear from B&H, and we're going to make this season all about gear and comparing different types of gear. Today, what we have to do is pack all this stuff down, and we're actually going to bring a much larger variety of gear for this tutorial, but everything's going to be a lot more compact.
What we've done is just put a different color electrical tape on the handles of the bags. I've also this year put some on the back so that if they get packed in a car, we can easily see whose bag it is, and then I just know I'm red, Lee's yellow. I don't know that this is going to become useful, but if you saw Lee's post, we made these fake media passes because we're always given crap about having too much luggage. I think the purpose of this trip is going to be to pack as light as possible. Are we going to need these things at all?
Always.
Always.
Like, they just give us crap all the time.
My suggestion is just to have a couple of these and just throw them in your bag so that when you need a media rate for something, you just pull that out. We're not going to take any sliders, no jib, and we're just going to use cameras, a Mavic, and some handheld gimbals. Okay. And I bet you the footage is going to look better than anything we've produced before.
So today is the day we are leaving. We are heading to Rome, I believe, and in all honesty, I have no clue where we're going after that. The plans keep changing with Elia, and so I have put no energy into even asking, hey, where are we going? Patrick, do you know where we're going today?
We're going to the airport, and I think we're flying to Rome, but other than that...
So last time, we had my entire truck bed filled to the top with bags. I know this still seems like a lot of bags, but we have shaved off 3 giant bags.
So let's go ahead and get this out of the way and put into the very first behind the scenes episode. If we are going to the Alps, or if we're going to the beach, are we going to be able to get Elia to jump off a mountain with a parachute or jump out of a plane?
So if you can remember in the last season, we tried to get Elia to go skydiving. He said he would, and then he bailed at like the last minute.
I believe he said we should do it in Dubai, like it was some brilliant idea. But guess what, Elia? That's where we're going.
Yeah.
So what did you find?
I just went into one of the electronic stores that's at every airport. Found this little tripod. We're going to be doing time lapses in this tutorial with a much smaller camera. We'll show you when we set it up over here. But we didn't have a small tripod, so the guy was like, man, I've only got one tripod and there's no way you're going to want it. And then I saw it and I was like, this is perfect. This little ball head can fold up and easily fit in a pocket, and it's made of metal, so I don't think there's any way it's going to break. Alright, so this is what we're going to be doing time lapses with here. The Panasonic LX100. And the reason we got this camera was because the lens is built in and it can shoot automatic 4K time lapses with slow shutter speeds. That's the key. Obviously, I can do a time lapse with my phone. And you'll notice on the front of this one here, we have a variable neutral density filter, so we're able to really stop things down. I like about a 2-second exposure for my time lapses so they don't look like ants running around. It'll blur people walking around. And then, of course, with our Polaroid tripods here, it's a pretty good system. Much easier to deal with than a DSLR, and totally silent. We finally got on our plane to Atlanta, where we plan to meet up with Elia. So we just met up with Elia. He's telling us where we're going for the first time.
Yeah, basically we've known about this for months, and I was planning it last night. Not because I didn't have other things planned, but I keep changing my mind. So this is, for now, I booked non-refundable things, what we're doing.
Okay. Elia then started to break down everywhere we would be traveling for the next 30 days. To be honest, I think I prefer traveling this way. It's fun getting on a plane and not knowing where you're going to end up. All right, we got a new piece of gear at the last airport. I want to see what you think about it.
Wow. Polaroid, really?
Polaroid.
That's awesome.
That's
and you know what I really like? I think the colors make it more stable.
This is always my favorite part of every one of these trips. 50-50 chance. You know what it is. Are we going to get money out or not? Oh. Is that the sound of money? That never happens.
After grabbing cash, we went over to pick up our rental car.
This is home for how many days?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Oh. Here's the problem. This car is already touching the pole in front of us, and we can't figure out how to get it in reverse.
Tell me, because this is like...
Up. I think it means pull it up. I'd say pull it up.
So that was doing.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. You see now it says it's in reverse. So we're just going to back it up a little bit.
If you can remember back to Photographing the World Season 2, we did not have the best experience with local Italian food. I don't think we've had any good food here for less than $50 a plate. Would you say that?
I haven't had a really good meal here yet, except
sushi. We had sushi last night, and that was really good.
I had sushi twice this week.
For this trip, we hoped that the food would be incredible.
All right, we're at Chef Express. Are you ready for this? All the hate on episode 1.
I'm ready for the most delicious Italian food I've ever had in my life. I am starting off my trip here in Italy with the hard bread and razor thin piece of meat. It's much softer than other sandwiches I've had in Italy. It's not particularly good, but it's not gross.
I'm so hungry, I just went with something I'd be filling. This is the Penne Norman. And the Delta Italian was better than this.
But I'm going to be perfectly honest. When I taste some really good Italian food, you're going to hear about that as well. But as long as I'm eating these rock hard pieces of bread with no flavor, you're gonna have to listen to this. After another depressing meal, we headed on to our first shooting location, Positano, Italy. And sadly, the weather was not cooperating.
This is nuts.
Sadly, when we got inside, it wasn't any drier. 2 years ago, we went around the world with Elia. And when I was in Europe, I discovered this very disturbing trend. And it was that all of the bathrooms did not have shower doors or shower curtains. And water would just spray all over the bathroom. This is one of the most absurd layouts I have ever seen in my entire life. I've just come out of the shower. I have prepared my pants here. This is our bathroom. And let me just start down here so that you can see. If you can see the toilet is soaked as well. And let me show you how this is designed here. They put the shower head in the middle of the bathtub, which makes it a little awkward to stand in here anyway. However, the shower head is forced to go straight down so that it won't just hit this wall over here. And obviously, the second the water hits you, it just bounces off and sprays all over the place. So all the walls are wet. The toilet's soaking wet. The floor is going to take an entire week to dry out. There's plenty of room here to put a shower curtain. You could put a door if you wanted to. I've seen doors with cutouts. I know you might be saying, well, it's because of the roof. It would be very easy to drill a bar here and have it come out and then come in right here. I've seen it all over the United States. Like, nobody would have this shower setup in the United States without a shower curtain.
So we've decided to venture out and find dinner. It's still raining. It's extremely cold. And we are dealing with the most narrow, slippery, watery, waterfallish tunnels. And we have no idea where we're going.
Because this was the off season, there was only one working restaurant. And although it looked like it may have had potential, the food wasn't very good.
What would the rating be on a letter scale? A G?
C or D? I mean,
That's not looking. Yeah, we're just gonna stop. We're just gonna stop there.
So I just woke up here. This is our first full day in this amazing location. Patrick is setting up time lapses. This is our apartment here, and this is our view. After scouting out this town, we decided to start filming the very first lesson.
So it's really interesting when it's just me shooting by myself. I just come here, set up, and take the shot. But we're creating this in-depth tutorial series, which means that I need to get the shots, I need to articulate myself teaching the shots, and these guys over here have to shoot me getting the shots.
Whoa. I'm having a panic attack right now.
Because why? Because you decided to fly the drone in a very...
This is the first time I've ever used the Mavic. I turned it on once, but I have never flown it until right now. And then of course I choose to fly it like directly over the ocean. And the other problem is this thing is black instead of white. So the second it gets a little bit further away, I can't see it at all. This was the first time that I had ever used the DJI Mavic, and we'll talk about it more in detail in later episodes, but I have to say, this was by far our favorite piece of new gear on this entire project.
All right, so Lee has successfully flown, and now he's gonna land for the first time. Now this Mavic will stop and scan the ground.
Yeah, just stop.
Before it lands.
What?
That's so there is nothing in the way. On the other hand, while those guys are shooting me, shooting the city, this is as simple as my setup is. So I basically just have this beautiful view to enjoy. I'm waiting for that light to get a little bit better, and I'm hoping that's going to be a really nice blend shot. It would take me like 10 minutes to shoot this or set up. It takes us at least a couple hours. So for everything that we do, we have to plan not only multiple hours in the same location, but in this case, 2 to 3 days to capture everything.
Now you may be asking yourself, why would it take so long? Well, this is why.
One sec, just going to wait for the car noise. Wait for more car noise. So each one is set up to take a series of 3 bracketed exposures every single minute. So once I engage...
This is what we have to deal with while we film. It's like dogs on roofs fighting with each other. Can you hear that?
I just, it's funny because you rarely get to see Patrick angry.
When he gets angry,
He gets like, Patrick gets flustered, but not like...
It's just when there's like 5 things in a row, like a fucking bus stopping and people getting out, dogs barking.
When he starts to drop the F-bomb.
I can handle any one of them, but the second, like all I hear is just motorcycles just in my ears, and I'm just like, this edit's gonna suck.
so we decided to wait until night when we thought it might get a little bit quieter.
But until I can actually look at these frames on a big screen and start blending them together, I'm not sure if I'm going to use
Believe it or not, with some extra editing, we were actually able to get this lesson fully filmed.
Since this is a brand new tutorial that we're working on, and this is the first shot, a lot of things have changed since the last one, so I want to talk about my setup a little bit. First thing is, I've gone a lot lighter than before. So if you guys remember, I was using multiple cameras before. I was using a Nikon DA10, I was using a Fujifilm X-T1. But now, since the Fujifilm X-T2, Fujifilm X Pro 2, 24 megapixel APS-C camera, amazing photos. Since I've changed the cameras and gone to a compact mirrorless format, I also changed the tripod. So I don't know if you guys remember that big bulky tripod by Really Right Stuff that I was carrying around. Now I have a couple really lightweight, ultra portable solutions. So both these tripods together don't really take up much weight. I can carry them easily and set them up. Now the other thing here is what I've done is I have a main angle, which I'm going to explain in a few minutes, and I have a B angle, just in case I want a different shot. But what I've done is I've set one up on the tripod, and to save space, I've actually put this other camera, the X Pro 2, on a little tabletop TFA Ultra tripod.
Stay tuned for next week's episode when Alaya decides to create an authentic Italian meal. This tastes exactly like Chef Boyardee. And if you'd like to learn more about the full tutorial, head over to fstoppers.com/store.